Good morning, and welcome to the Brenda Perryman Show right here on TV 33 WHPR, Comcast 20 in Detroit. And boy, do I have an action packed show for you today. I first have Mayor Bill Wild, who is running for Wayne County Executive. And then I have Joel Fluent Green, the poet extraordinaire. And then I have Mr. Sean P. Williams, who is a producer and has a great show coming up. So, without further ado, this is Brenda Perryman, and you're watching The Brenda Perryman Show. I'd like to introduce you to my first guest, Mayor Bill Wild. Good morning.
Well, good morning, Brenda, and I'm excited to be on your show. And boy, you do have a great show lined up for today.
I do. I'm like excited, and it's all men. I love the days when I get all men on the show. But Mayor Wild, or Bill, that's such an interesting name. When I first heard your name, I thought of Wild Bill, anyway.
I've been called a lot worse than that over the years, I'll tell you that.
But I tell people I've been called worse by better, so
Okay.
tell them that. So tell me a little about yourself, where you grew up and so forth.
Well, thank you. Well, Brenda, I'm 45 years old. I'm a Democrat. I'm from the city of Westland. I'm the mayor of the city of Westland since 2007. That's my hometown, so it's pretty exciting about being the mayor of my hometown.
Wow.
I'm married. My wife's a school teacher. I know that you're a former teacher too, so we'll have to talk a little bit more about that. But I've got 3 children. I've got a son who's 11, is just a heck of a hockey player, and 2 daughters that are 11 and I'm sorry, that are 9 and 7, and they keep me running pretty hard. But so I'm also a business owner too. I've been a Wayne County business owner. I got in the business with my father back when I was 19 years old. It's an automotive recycling business in the city of Wayne, and we recycle automobiles, and we just celebrated our 25th anniversary. So
Congratulations.
well, thank you.
Well, when you were younger, did you ever think that you would be mayor of the city?
No, I don't think so. I kind of thought that I'd follow my dad's footsteps and get into business, but somewhere along the line, I guess I got that one screwed up gene in my body that we like to, we're gluttons for punishment. But it's exciting. I've been very proud to serve as the mayor for the last 7 years.
So when did you hear this calling that you should do this? Because prior to the mayor, you did something. Being mayor, you were doing something with the city, right?
Yeah, I've actually been involved with local government for 15 years in Westland. I actually started off on the planning commission for a couple years, and they were looking for some young business-minded individuals to get involved with the planning commission. I worked my way up to the Westland City Council for 6 years, finished up as council president, and then been mayor for the last 7 years.
Well, now you're running for Wayne County Executive. And Wayne County has been in a bit of a flux the past few years. Can you tell us what you see it is now and what it would be under a Bill Wild administration?
Well, I can say that, as a longtime resident of Wayne County, as a business owner, and as a full-time mayor in Westland, I'm frustrated. When you said it was a flux in Wayne County, I thought that was a polite way to say it. But times are tough right now, and I think that with my background in business and in the city of Westland, a lot of people don't know much about it, but it's the 10th largest city in the state, 85,000 people. Other than Detroit, it's the 3rd largest city in Wayne County. And we were suffering the same issues that they're facing here in Detroit, and plus that Wayne County's facing. Our auditors told us back in 2009 that the city of Westland was going to be bankrupt and out of money in 2010. We rolled up our sleeves. We've lost 42% of our property values, just like other Wayne County cities. The current budget year that we're in right now, back in 2009, was projected to have a $37 million deficit. I can tell you that under the same conditions that are facing the county right now, we now have a 2-year balanced budget with a $5.5 million surplus, and we did it without asking our residents for more millages. We did it without cutting services, and this is a big thing. And this is the thing that a lot of people say that a business-minded Democrat can't do. We did it without going to war with our unions. We worked with our unions. They were a key part in the turnaround in the city of Westland. So I think those are the type of things that I bring to the table, and I think right now those are the type of things that Wayne County needs so we can turn Wayne County around. just like I turned around the city of Westland, and just like Detroit's on the verge of turning around as well.
Well, I know a few people who have moved to Westland in the past couple of years, and they really do like it. They really like it. And with you all having a $5 million, that's in your rainy day?
Yeah, our budget's $60 million, and we've got a $5.5 million surplus. So we're starting to get up above that. We're almost at 10% of our fund balance.
That is amazing. So you seem, in the background that I've read about you, you have a lot of fiscal responsibility. That is very important.
That I guess that's one of the things that I'm good at, and that's something that's been very helpful for me in the city of Westland. I enjoy applying that business person's mind to government, and I know a lot of people say that the government should be run like a business, and a lot of people say that they're two different entities. But I think if you bring business principles to government, you'll start doing things a lot smarter, and we've been able to do that.
Oh, that's really great. Well, Wayne County, let's talk about some of the problems that Wayne County has right now.
Well, obviously, their biggest problem is they've got an unbalanced budget. The county has a $2 billion budget. Now think about that, $2 billion. That's an incredible budget, but they've got $175 million at least of a structural deficit. So that's something that we're going to have to address. And I can tell you, in the city of Westland, that was the first thing that we got in line was our budget, because until you get to a balanced budget, and my goal would be to get us to a 2 or 3 year balanced budget. Until you get that budget balanced, you don't have time to work on anything else. You don't have money to work on anything else. So we're going to tackle the budget. I know that right now there's a lot of talk about the sheriff's budget and the prosecutor's budget.
Right.
Well, I can tell you, Brenda, I've got a good relationship with both of those individuals. I've met with them. I've talked with them. The thing is, as a mayor, I understand the importance of public safety, and county executive, public safety is going to be at the top of my priorities. I do believe that we can work with them to get their budgets balanced. I do believe that we've got money that we'll make cuts in the executive budget to fund some of these issues in the prosecutor's office. And I can tell you that as I travel across the county, I understand the fact that we're mandated to have a jail in Wayne County, but I can tell you that mayors and city managers and township supervisors and residents, they want and need a visible sheriff's department. So I'm gonna make sure that we can provide that as well.
Wow, because the travesty of what happened with that jail, I don't think anybody really knows what happened with the jail. I mean, I remember seeing the building for the first time last spring, and I said, "What is that? A hotel?" I couldn't tell what it was. It looked like it had balconies out there. I mean, that's just from a novice just looking. I didn't know that was supposed to be the jail. And now, what is it? An edifice just sitting out there?
It's incredible. You drive by it and they say they've spent $160 million. It makes you wonder where that money went. And, it's sad, but those are the type of things, those are management things. We got to make sure that those things don't happen. I can tell you, in the city of Westland right now, we're building a new city hall. And this is a project that is on budget, that's on time. I've been involved with it from the very beginning. Those decisions are made at my desk. And I can tell you that we built that city hall without asking residents for additional tax dollars as well.
Yeah, I saw that in your notes. I was very pleased to see that. And another thing, you said that you're able to work across the aisle.
That's very important. In Westland, it's a nonpartisan position, so that makes it a little bit easier. But I can tell you that I've had to work with Republican mayors, Democratic mayors. We've worked with the state legislator because I can tell you, when you're running a city, there's a lot of things that aren't partisan. Taking care of residents isn't a partisan issue. Delivering public service isn't a partisan issue. Patching potholes, keeping those streets cleared, those aren't partisan issues. So you've got to be able to work with everybody.
That's the slowly I turn step by step issue here in Michigan. It is totally ridiculous. But another thing you do, you have shared services.
That's been one of the keys at how we've been able to balance the budget without asking for additional tax dollars is we've shared services. It's probably the businessman in me that sees the assets in this. We've combined our fire department with the city of Wayne. We also share a fire chief now between Westland, Wayne, and Inkster. And we're also looking at Garden City potentially as well. So one management position for right now, 3 departments, potentially 4. Just saving that one position saved the 4 cities combined over $250,000.
And how many residents combined just about are in those 3 cities that you have?
You know, there's 85,000 in Westland. There's about 20,000 in Wayne, 20,000 in Inkster, and I believe there's about 22,000 in Garden City.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not, that's about,
So my math was at about 145,000.
you're better than me. I was a drama teacher.
Okay.
I liked hearing that. But public safety, let's get back to that. That's something that's really a big deal. Really a big deal in not only Wayne County, all the counties, but Wayne County, especially in Detroit. People are concerned. People have been moving out because they're concerned about their safety, and as well they should be. And what is your stance on that?
Well, public safety is number one, and I'll tell you, in the city of Westland, that is the number one priority. It always has been. You know, I think that's something that we, as the county, can work with Detroit. That's one of the issues with a strong sheriff's department and a visible sheriff's department. I think that we can work hand in hand with the city of Detroit. I'm not sure in the past that there was that cohesiveness between the county and Detroit, but under Mayor Mike Duggan's leadership and my leadership at Wayne County, I believe that we could forge a relationship that we can make public safety one of our top priorities. I know it's one of the top priorities for Mike Duggan, and it'll be one of the top priorities for me as well.
Right. So far, you're running again. Is Chief Executive Ficano running?
He's been pretty coy about that so far. So I'm sure that before the filing deadline, that question is going to be answered.
When is the filing deadline?
The filing deadline is April 22nd.
April 22nd. It's just amazing. People, you know, you have to have a lot of nerve to run for office, I think. I mean, seriously, in this day and age, in the days of social media and immediate information, we could get immediate information. It's so much different than it was years ago when I was younger. And right now that you have the to get out there, and your platform seems to be pretty good, especially with the public safety piece, because you can't do anything if you're a resident. Number one, the budget has to be in place, but your residents have to feel safe.
That's true, you know, and that's why I do think that I think it's smart that we have an executive that's got good fiscal responsibility. But I think the assets that I bring to the table as being a mayor that understands public safety, that understands livability, parks and recreation, keeping the roads cleared, and basically taking care of the residents. I've been mayor for 7 years. I've been very fortunate. My last 2 elections, I've ran unopposed. And in Westland, that's never happened in our history. But I think it's because I've learned early on, probably my business taking care of customers, that it's about the residents. And I think that when you talk about Wayne County, you talk about people's these big pensions, you talk about these failed projects. The thing that gets lost in all this are the Wayne County residents, the Wayne County taxpayers, the people that live here, that work here, that go to our schools. You know, what's in it for them? You know, we talked about a $2 billion budget. You know, what's in it for the residents? We should be delivering excellent quality services. The roads should be being taken care of. The parks should be taken care of.
Now, can you name the cities in Wayne County for my audience so they know if they can vote for you?
Now, this is a test. There's 43 of them.
Okay. Name, I know there was a lot, but can you name some of them?
Yeah. Well, obviously, you know, all the cities surrounding Detroit, south of Detroit, all through downriver, as you come up through western Wayne County, it goes actually all the way out to Van Buren, Huron Township, up through Belleville. You come in through Northville, Canton, Westland.
Belleville is involved in that?
It sure is. Livonia, Redford, all of Detroit, Highland Park, the Grosse Points. It's a very big, it's a very diverse county, but it should be the most dynamic county.
It really should. It's the biggest county, isn't it?
It's the biggest in the state. It's one of the biggest in the nation. And when you look at all the assets with the Great Lakes, with the airports, with the Port Authority, with the three major sports, with all of our museums and entertainment, there's nothing like it like this anywhere in the country. This should be the most dynamic county, and that's going to be my goal. Is that once again Wayne County will be the engine that turns the state, and the state turns the country.
Absolutely. So, is there anything you want to say to my viewers right now and to get them on your side?
Well, I'd just like them to know that a couple of things. One is that, there is a very serious chance of an emergency manager in Wayne County, and I just want your viewers to know that I don't think that that's the right approach. I think that what we need is we need elected officials that have turnaround experience, people that people can vote for based on their skill set, to come in and represent them and turn around the county. I can tell you that I do think it's important as Democrats that we try to recruit business-minded Democrats, especially those that have some turnaround experience, so that our communities can continue to be ran by elected officials. If you'd like to learn more about my campaign, about some of the great things we've done in Westland that I'll be bringing to the table in Wayne County, you can go to our campaign website, which is wildforadewaynecounty.com. You can learn all about it. You can join our team. Hopefully you'll have me back here in the future as well.
I want to. www.wildforwaynecounty.com, right?
Right. You can follow us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter.
Wow. You're all over the place. Got to get that Instagram going.
That's true. I got to work on that. And you've probably seen our billboards. We've got billboards up all around the county as well.
Well, I'd like to congratulate you for running and having the courage to run and the courage to spread your fiscal responsibility throughout and your platform.
Well, thank you.
And I wish you good luck. And I do, hopefully I could get you back on maybe prior to the election and stuff.
I would appreciate that. I think
we can talk longer.
All right.
Okay, everyone. Bill Wild, and I'll see you in just a moment. We'll be back with Joel Fluent Green.